All right. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Yeah, we should be good. Howdy, 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 y'all. I'm butt tired and I got stuff to do because I'm in office tomorrow. Um, so I'm in office all this week. Y'all seen a little bit of my junk. I got it's a pencil bag. I need to get another one. I actually need to get a couple. It's a pencil pen bag. I need to get another. Wendy, what's up, Flatbed? And thanks, Flatbed, for checking on me. Flatbed sent me a message like, my dude, here's some news. Where you at? Let's talk about some news. Thank you, thank you. How y'all doing? How's your weather? It's overcast today and sprinkling, but it's been hot as Hades. It's been hot. A lot to talk about, y'all. A lot to talk about. Life has been lifing, so I'm gonna get y'all caught up on a lot of stuff. I'm still doing the Ozempic. I think I got a shot either do today or tomorrow. I haven't done it yet. And sometimes I wait because my stomach does a lot of weirds. Weight loss, I haven't weighed yet. So my last weigh in, we were at shot, I think 1 milligram or whatever, because they up it gradually. I had him stop the up, so I'm just at the 1 milligram. Yeah, it's been hot here too, Wendy. It's been we've been ranging between 110, 108. We should be starting to cool off, but Arizona will stay hot up until probably October, November. It'll start cooling down, at least with all the things with the global warming. It's changed quite a bit. But we've been like yesterday I was out, it was about 108. Um, I haven't really gardened the way I should. I do have some garden plants. I bought some more tomato plants. I normally would do seeds, but I had the critter issue. But then I was supposed to transplant and I had the mobility issues. But now I'm feeling like I can get out there. So I bought three, well, it's really going to be six or four tomato plants yesterday because one was two in one. It had two plants in one, and thing. So I bought some of those. They're all indeterminate. I had some other tomato plants, but I never transplanted them in time and they bit the dust. But I got to do some transplanting today. Right now, I have an eggplant out there that I haven't transplanted that's going to get transplanted today. I'm going to go ahead and get the tomato plants I bought yesterday all transplanted today. Um, the fig tree is still going okay. I did not transplant it because it's in a pretty hefty pot right now, so I'm going to wait for it to grow some more. So the lady I bought that from had it in a good sized pot. The basil was transplanted with one of the tomato plants that I may have waited too long for. And then I had some shishito peppers and a jalapeno. The shishito, I thought it was gonna do good. It died, so it bit the dust. And I thought the jalapeno plant, because he looked like he was dead, but he's starting to produce at the bottom. So I think he's gonna come back. I'm giving him a chance. So the shishito I pulled out, I'm gonna get some shishito seeds and try to start fresh. I may have some around here, but everything right now I got so much stuff in bins and boxes that I got to go through. And when I had the mobility, things just were not kept in order like I need. So I'm gradually getting through stuff right now. Um, she said I was outside 5 minutes and looked like I cooked the blossom. Wendy, you silly. You silly. Um, the weight loss. Oh, I guess it's something new. It just popped up on my screen and it says top fans. So thank you for being a top fan. That means I guess you come to the channel regularly. Y'all, I just be me on this channel. It wasn't all about making money and stuff like that for me. I mean, I may get blessed, like I said, about $100 every 6 months. I might gain from some of it. And actually, my old trucking videos is really what's bringing in any revenue. Now I'm older. I'm not doing anything. I may eventually, like I said, I may do the barbecue sauce that I'm able to move around. Because I'll be honest, y'all, I was in massive pain. I still have some issues. My back is jacked up. I think the back could be from trucking. Because I do know you can get lumbar issues from sitting in the truck seats after a time, and I do have really, my back is jacked. Um, Also probably could be some of the weight from the stomach, but that's coming off. So I haven't weighed in. I went to my doctor's appointments to do labs about, well, I'm in office every month. So was it a month ago? No, it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe. And when I went to go do the labs, I wanted to weigh in, but they had somebody code in the office. So the side of my office, of the doctor's office, they wouldn't let you in where the scale is. So I was on the side where the labs are, where the lab lady is, and she's the one who said, "Hey, somebody coded out in the office," and they had blocked it off. And I knew something was weird when I got there. And the way, again, God works things out for me, I was going to go a lot earlier in the day, but I was running behind taking care of some other stuff. So I got there a little later, and I actually went into work a little later and decided to work in the office because my office is right next to where my doctor is, right? Off where my doctor, because my doctor's office is in the same plaza. So I asked the lab person, I said, "Hey, you guys got a scale on this side?" She goes, "No." I said, "Okay, I'll ask them if I can go on the other side." She said, "I don't know if they're going to let you over there. We have somebody code." Which then made sense because while I was waiting, the office manager kept asking the ladies in the front, "Are y'all okay?" And I'm like, "Why you keep coming in every 10 minutes?" Ask her, like, well, maybe not even in that. It was like every 5 minutes. He's like, "I just want to make sure y'all are okay." I mean, he was just chatting. I was like, "What is going on?" So once I got back there and found out what happened, I think he wanted to make sure that, because it sounds like if they blocked it off like that, the person likely died. So I don't know if y'all know, when a person dies, their body releases everything. Pee, poop, everything is released. So I know that they had somebody coming in from the janitorial service. They had somebody coming in from the building maintenance while I was waiting. And I don't know what time all this took place. And as I was coming into park, I saw the fire department leave. So I'm thinking whatever this happened just happened, right? So I was finishing up right when I came in. And then I also saw all the security for the building there. So there, and actually it's like a plaza. So it's almost like if you remember, a strip mall with a bunch of different buildings. So you got multiple buildings in there. My company I think they own the plaza. And there's a doctor's office there. They have, hold on, 3 buildings there. Is it 4? Maybe it's 4. 4 buildings there they're occupied. I've only been in 2. And then one of them is an old company that I used to work for that leases that building from them. And then my doctor's office is over there. Then there's a financial department, actually there's a couple financial companies in there. And there's a training, like a gym there too. And then because right around there is near NTMP, so it's near all the colleges or ASU. So there's tons of I call them prisons, the apartment prisons there, and one of them is not that far. So a lot of the kids come over there to that gym and work out. But anyway, I haven't had a chance to weigh in. The last time I weighed was, I think I told you guys, I went from 443 to 407. 407. I definitely know I'm less than that now, and I'll tell you how I know. And actually the car is the reason why. So I went to pick up, I'm still got to do my desk. I haven't done the desk yet. I haven't built it, but that might be something I'll be working on today too. Because I'm kind of just I've decreased some of my interactions with associates. So I'm not hanging with Joe as much at all, really. Linda and I hang out every so often, but oh, thank you, Wendy. I can't see it. My niece said she can see it. I can't see it. Flatbed, I was in trucking off and on for about 6 years. Off and on for about 6 years. And I will say I picked up at least a couple hundred in trucking in that 6 years. Because I was overweight coming in, but not like I left out. And then also COVID probably didn't help either. So I gained probably, I'm going to say probably a good 50 more pounds during COVID. Because I was not leaving my house. I was here at the house, and I was abiding by the rules and what I could find online from overseas. Because, old boy that we got right now wasn't telling us nothing, his administration. Um, but I was in the car, was it last weekend? Last weekend or the weekend before last. And I went to go pick up a frame, a picture frame. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. So I found some pictures and things I got off Facebook Marketplace. So I was going to drive all the way, had to drive all the way out to what we call the west side. So it was at least a 30, 45-minute drive. Um, when I went out there, my seat felt funny. I'm like, why does my seat feel funny? And I was trying to look at the dash, and I realized that I wasn't seeing the dash like how I normally see it when I sit. And then I also realized that my steering wheel was funny. So normally I have my steering wheel pushed all the way to as far towards the dash as possible because of my gut, because I'm fat. Well, my gut has gone down so much, there was a distance between me and the steering wheel. And whatever happened with the weight loss, probably in my butt. I'm already been a big butt person all my life. I mean, when I was a kid, they teased me and called me Big Butt Shannon because I'm one of them sisters that got a behind. So, even when I wasn't fat, I just had a big butt. So I just got a big butt. But then on top of that, you add fat to it, it's a big, big, massive butt, right? So I'm realizing, oh, I've lost so much weight that I didn't recognize. I had to readjust the steering wheel towards me. I had to readjust my seat up, and I had to tilt so that I could actually see now back to the things on my dash. What I was looking for was because my tire, I had got a nail in, or a screw in my tire. And also, I'm wondering if I'm at a point where I need to change tires. So one of the ways you can always tell is when you drive, car shimmy shakes. You also, inspect. Now, the tread on my car looks good, but tires don't have to go bad, as you know, due to tread. Like when Grumpy had his car, he got that car, and then for years, he kept the same tires on there from when he bought it. And I was like, bruh. And when I saw the tires, you could see the cracks all along the side. I'm like, dude, the tires are dry rotting. You need to get them changed. I know you don't drive the car that much, but rubber's only going to last so long, and it's going to dry rot out. So I think, I don't know if it's dirt or whatever. I need to probably go to a car wash where I can scrub the tires and take a look and see, but I think they're starting to crack on the side. So I'm thinking replacement. I went to Discount. Discount didn't mention anything about the cracking. They are the ones that found the screw. So I haven't asked about the cracking, and I'm always careful when you go to body shops, or excuse me, tire shops, because they say, oh yeah, we see cracking, $300 for 2 tires. I absolutely not. So, and I hate to say it, I'm probably going to end up going to Wally World for my tires. Not that I really want to. I want Costco, but the thing is, I don't have like loot to come out of pocket right now. I'm trying to pay bills. Speaking of, let me tell y'all the drama. So we were supposed to have a bachelor's degree in the month of August. I don't know if it's current administration drama with school, but all of a sudden I got put through some kind of weird audit with financial aid. The school I'm going to, which they had some issues. All of a sudden, right around the time they got off from whatever issues they had under the current administration, then all of a sudden I get a notice about an audit. I go through this audit, and these people are ordering my 1040 like they're the IRS. They've told me, oh, go back and do this amendment. Oh, we need a wet signature. And my tax dude is getting pissed because he's like, I've never seen this before. This is weird. So I only have 2 classes left, right? 2 classes, not a lot of money. And well, not a lot of money if you have it, by intense purposes of my budget, I ain't got it, right? So I've asked my company to see if they'll step in, because my manager you can petition the company for help. I don't know if they will, if they won't, because right now they've sent my money back that was supposed to be already pre-approved by financial aid. I've sent them additional documents that they added. Oh, you got those to us late. My dude, we've been sending stuff back. I got over 30 plus emails back and forth of this change, that change, stuff that the IRS wasn't even bothering me about. And my tax dude is like, this is something I have never seen before. This is odd. So I don't know, because I do know that when you file financial aid, they do ask you your ethnicity. And under our current, situation, that could be playing a big role. I'm also right now have an associate of mine whose daughter, Linda's daughter actually, is about to go back to school and she's having problems. So she had gone to school, she's getting ready to go back. They told her a whole bunch of stuff. So now she going through drama. And I'm like, woo-wee. And then I got advice because I was thinking about just taking the credits and moving them to another school. But I'm so close, I got the 2 classes left. So we might just be stacking money to the side for the right now. But right now I'm trying to finish out. I still got to finish out chapter 7. So we are still finishing some tax stuff that I was doing anyway. That should be finalized. I'm estimating we'll have it all done between probably September. I thought I would have it done by June, but we'll have it done by September. And then we're going to go ahead, and that's the last thing I have to do, and then I'm going to file my 7. Once I do that, that may free up more money. So this may get delayed 6 months to a year. I don't know. Right now, that's not my priority anymore. And unless my company comes in or these people get the money back from financial aid with whatever they're doing, I don't know. The woman comes back. My counselor I had originally was out on a leave for like 2 some months. She comes in. Well, some lady sends me a message that was replacing her temporarily. Hey, we see you're off track. Let's schedule an appointment so we can talk about getting you back on track. With what? I ain't got nothing to pay you. I got car note, apartment rent, utilities. I just had to renegotiate my health, my car insurance. Praise God, got a new because I was almost at $300 a month. I'm like, absolutely not. And so finally, little man Hulk was able to get insurance from a major carrier, which cut my insurance my bill in half. Praise Jesus. So yeah, but for tires, I'm probably gonna do like an afterpay, and Costco's not on the list for the afterpay. However, Walmart is, and they have a warranty, so I may go through them. Unfortunately, where I can do the tires a little bit at a time. Actually, Discounts customer service was so good. That's who I was in. Wendy, because I work for an insurance company and it's not the one I work for, and this is a major competitor, hit me up and text behind the scene and I'll let you know. But I will say it was the easiest enrollment I'd ever done. Everything was online. I had gotten an advertisement from it, and I really believe it's the Lord because the way it worked, I had talked to my niece Vicky, and she said this is who she had because we were talking about it because they're a major competitor of the company we work for. I don't know if it did or didn't, Flatbed or Wendy. I don't know if it gave me a break or not. It did ask me, and I did say yes. Now my CDL right now is in suspension because I still have to do my DOT physical, and my DOT physical is extremely late. But for Arizona, they'll just suspend the CDL portion and let your regular driver's portion be active. I am probably, if not probably next pay period, going to go do my DOT physical because I'm able to do it now without, I think, really it being funky because I was barely able to walk, I was barely able to get around the apartment. My apartment is I'm still recouping from the lack of mobility. So I'm getting things straight. I'm now getting around. Now, I still use the cane. If it's short distances where I'm not going to have to walk a lot, the rollator stays at the house. I'm just using my canes. I use a cane to get to the car and a cane once I leave the car. Like if I'm going to the grocery store, obviously I'm going to lean on the basket. Now, like because I got to work tomorrow, the rollator comes with me because getting around the office is a lot. And I still have a little bit of knee problem, and I've actually started having a little bit of knee problem on the right knee. No, I don't have any tickets or accidents on my CDL or on my regular driver's license. Knock on wood. Praise Jesus. Yeah, I don't have any of those. So I don't have any of that. So I'm going to be on. The problem why I was paying such a high insurance Flatbed was because my car was a high theft. It was part of that TikTok high theft car group where they were stealing all the Kias. And I can't remember if it was Tanya. It was one of the Tanyas who brought it up and asked me, was that going to be a problem when I was looking at this car? I didn't know I needed a car. I didn't even know about that. We just got to work it out. And so when I initially got insurance, I had to go through some ghetto insurance company to get insurance for Little Man Hulk. I stayed with them for like 2 years, and every year I was checking with different companies, and my company is who I really wanted because I've had insurance with them before, and they're really usually their quality, their customer service, as far as coverage, is on point. But they wouldn't take it, and neither would any of the other major carriers because of the high theft. Now there's what I call their secondary or their subsidiary insurance. Every one of these major carriers has one. So like Farmers is Bristol West. I forgot who Liberty Mutuals. They have a secondary, and those are for the people who are the cars that are hard to insure, are questionable people, are issues credit wise, and those people will end up under one of those. Okay, I couldn't even get into any of the major carriers, or I don't even know if the subsidiaries, because the major carriers wouldn't. And the one company I could go through was a Latino based agency out here. Okay, all right, good deal. Yeah, so that's not who I have, but I went through, so I went for almost, we're on year number 3, I think, with this car. And in year 2, I called around again, and Liberty had their subsidiary company that would take me. But to get onto that, I had to load an app onto my phone. Absolutely not. That app driving on your phone, I don't like it. One, if you guys don't know about it, here's some helpful hints. If you have an insurance company that asks you to do that, I'm going to tell you to say no. Because when they have that app on there, it's like when we were back in trucking. So you notice, Flatbed and Wendy, y'all both know this. Everything from braking, hard braking, to sudden stops, anything that thing registered was negative. So therefore, they could up and just cancel your insurance as a bad driver because you had to hard brake or something. Some things you don't have control of, especially when you're trying to drive out here with other folk. And there's a bunch of other folk, especially in this world today, who do not drive well. I I will tell you stories. Like yesterday, I was on the freeway coming back here. A guy was in a Mercedes SUV in front of me. Actually, he was in 2 cars in front of us. And I wondered why we were going so slow. One guy, he just finally weaved around him. By the time I got behind him, this dude was weaving all on the line over here. He's going multi-slow. I don't know if he's drunk. I don't know if he's old. I don't know what was going on. I kept honking at him, and he would go back in his lane, and he'd ride the line. Yeah, absolutely. I then got off freeway. There's a point where I'm going to get off, because if you call an accident ahead of me, then unfortunately I'm stuck behind the madness. I don't want to get hit by you, and I was behind him, so that was a plus. But you don't want to be caught behind whatever's about to happen with Butt Boy, who ain't driving right for whatever his reasons are. You got the people now, cell phones rule everybody's life. I don't know why. I don't have a problem driving without a cell phone. I can drive without my cell phone other than GPS. And my GPS I can run through the, little thing on the computer, on the screen, on the big screen in the car, the display. So yeah, I'm good. So people, you sitting up there and gonna rate me by that? No. So I will not. In the company I have now, they offered, oh, we have this good driver. Nope. Do you want to look? Nope. I'll take the extra cost. I'll pay the extra $20 not to avoid that madness. I'm not loading anything on my phone. Absolutely not. I know how that can work. And again, you might have to hard brake just to save your butt, because somebody else does something. Hard braking may be necessary. I don't have time for that. You may have to speed up to pass something. It's only seeing what they see behaviors. Absolutely not. And then they can just ultimately cancel you for anything. Absolutely not. I'll text you in the background, Wendy, and let you know. But anyway, my niece was telling me, and let me disinfect my hand because I just scratched my nose, y'all. My niece was telling me that she had this particular insurance the night before. We talked about it. I'm like, oh, okay. And we had talked about some other things with this particular company. So I had mail sitting here, and the next morning when I was getting ready to start, because I had gotten the notice that they were going to charge me $280 or $260 or $70, and then my rates were going to be 280. It was going up, not down. And my insurance had gotten purchased by another insurance carrier, the company that was there, they had acquired. And I knew who this other company was, and their rating, their reputation is horrible. So one, the number one problem for me was price. I wasn't going to pay $280 a month. I'm 57 years old. I just turned 57 on June 26th. I am not going to pay. I just couldn't see paying that. That just doesn't make sense to me. So let's shop around and see what we can find. So I was getting ready to go through, I'm with Navy Federal. So Navy Federal has, okay, that's fine. Just text me whenever, Wendy. Navy Federal has, they had an insurance company that geared itself for Navy Federal, you know, obviously military, Navy Federal, veterans, their kids, their families, whatever, towards them that you could use. So I was going to look at them and reach out. And so as I was getting my registration, because my registration was due as well, as I'm getting my registration to get the VIN number and information that I felt would be pertinent while I'm filling out this thing online or calling, I realized I have I'm just using this for example. I have an advertisement, a offer from a particular insurance company. And I'm like, oh, this is the one that me and my niece talked about the night before. And it said, hey, see whatever your rates can be, yada, 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 put this in / whatever. And so I went in my room. I was in my room at the time, and I'm on my, was I on my laptop or on, I think I was on the iPad. So I'm on my iPad. I put the information in, and when I put the information in, it comes up, what did it say? It came up with offers. I was like, oh, and it was extremely less than what I was doing. So then you could go and customize it. I'm like, oh. So I reduced, because my deductible was like $1,000 a month. Absolutely not. So I was able to reduce my deductible. And I know one of the Tanyas is going to be happy. They do have renter's insurance. I haven't added it yet, but I'll probably be adding it. I was able to get features that I didn't have with the other company, and I added and upped my liability coverage. So I was just doing the state minimums. I'm way above state minimums, especially what I do now. If you guys adjust your state minimums, I would highly suggest, especially with the way these fools drive now, up that. Up it as far as you financially can to have a comfortable monthly, but get that as high as you can, whatever's comfortable, up it. I'm probably going to up mine on my next, after 6 months, I'm going to look at it again and up it again. But I brought it significantly up, and I'm going to do it again. And my niece was saying the same thing. What we do now and what we see in some of the things you see that can happen in a vehicle, an accident, absolutely, you need to up that. Because what most people don't understand, the insurance is only going to cover up to your limit, your liability limits. If you get sued over that, so let's say accidentally somebody died in that accident, okay? Let's say somebody died in that accident. Somebody die, those firms can come after you for millions. The insurance company, if I'm just got my state minimums, what is it, 15, 25, whatever, they not going, the insurance company going to pay, well, this is what we pay. The rest of it, you got to go after Bobby Joe over there. So the insurance company going to pay what they can towards it. But if it's $1 million, you done. And these people can garnish wages. Absolutely not. So, yeah. I'm going to say it again. They can garnish your wages. See, most people go, oh, I ain't got nothing to give. But you understand, if they put a garnishment on you, the government can make it so. I've been garnished a long time ago for something. And it was tax stuff. Long time ago. And they left you $250 every pay period. Help me on how you survive off that. Now, normally you'll have to do a payment plan to avoid a situation like that, which is what I did to get out of my situation. And then pay the taxes off. But yeah, and I think that was state taxes. It was some state taxes. Absolutely, exactly what Wendy just said. You would have to, and you better hope none of your income comes from the U.S. because they will find you. I'm just saying, you would have to find income overseas. You could not have income, any kind of like working and getting paid from the U.S. like some people are doing abroad right now, which I wish I could do. Yeah. I'm not, Shannon is not mad at you. With all the cray-cray stuff going on, I want to move to Thailand. I'm just saying, Thailand has been on like, that's on my bucket list. I'll be out. That's what I said. Me and the barbecue sauce, we getting ready to start talking. Because if I can get some good income in here, I'm ghost. I could do it and be somewhere else. I'd be in a whole nother country. Thailand, one of the Asian countries. Thailand is probably top on my list. I just think it's gorgeous. I'll be watching videos on it. I'm seeing a lot of black expats go over there. I'm feeling the love. Granted, they had that earthquake, but you know what? We just have to work it out. Look, earthquake or cray-cray. I don't know which one we want. So, yeah. But the weight loss is definitely happening. I don't know where I'm at. I do have to go in for a blood check, so I'll probably be going in when I'm in office here this week coming up. And I'll probably stop in maybe Friday. And if I get there early enough, I'll also try to do a weigh-in and find out where I'm at. But I can see it. I am going to have to start going to the gym. I need to tone. Obviously, I'm going to have the skin removal that's going to have to be done. I can feel right here in what's a fat roll where you can feel yeast build up. So that's going to be an issue because when you start losing weight and you have the excess skin, you can have different yeast infections, things like that with the excess skin. So, yeah. Tea, I got a new cup. My friend Regina, you know, see the cup? I think it's a 40 ounce. Is it 40 ounce or 30 ounce? It's one of them. I guess Amazon, she sent me, they had this cup. It was like already cut on sale for like $8 something. And they had a 40% off coupon. So it cost me $5 and some change. So I got me a new insulated cup. I think it's 24 hours. It's supposed to stay cold. And I forgot how many for hot. But this will be my go to work cup next week. But yeah, when I'm going to get out there, I'll probably do a little video. Y'all can see where it's at. I was supposed to have I think I told you, I was supposed to have Regina's actual son come, and he had car issues, some other stuff. And then I was like, yeah, you know what, Shannon, your mobility's a little bit better. These are some things you can do on your own. Because I was going to give him like $50 and to kind of get me to where I need to, but I need to start kind of moving so it actually helps me, and I need to get out there. I also realized that once I'm out there and I'm messing with the dirt, they said there's something that happens with the brain when you're messing in dirt in a garden where it does some sort of relaxation. And I'm going to tell you, I put an audio book on. I have a portable speaker. I put my audio book on. I got a little folding chair that Danielle had bought for me when she was here because I didn't have any furniture in the house at the time. And I sit out there on that little folding chair and I start working on stuff. And by the time I come in, I'm at peace. It's weird. And I look at my little plants and I'm hoping they make it. And yeah, so I've already got some things out there. I'll show y'all. I think that's what they said. I didn't even know that. I think it, and I was like, oh, okay. And my grandmother, I should have probably recognized it was something. My father's mother, she would get so my mother's father would garden and my grandmother and Monty's mom would garden. So for my grandfather, he always did manual labor, but he's a sharecropper, come from the sharecropping thing out of Oklahoma. My grandmother, she's from Oklahoma too, and she was Native American and obviously got that trait. But she would go out there and do her own garden, and she would just be just as relaxed and humming and singing stuff and just chilling. And then she'd go out there with her little apron and get her veggies and bring them in and cook them. And my God, that woman could cook. So yeah, I was like, okay, I sat out in my little chair and did that and so forth. But yeah, the weight's coming off. I can feel the mobility. The knee on the right was bothering me the other day. Stomach issues too. I was having stomach issues. So some people with the Ozempic, if you're using it, there's a point where you get to with the Ozempic where you're going to get into constipation. That's where I'm at. So, where's it at? Hold on, y'all. So when I went to the gastro doctor, and I'll tell y'all that story here in a minute, he recommended this. So I got these, and I got the Miralax Chews. I don't know where my chews are at right now. I haven't done the packets since I started. I went to the Chews. So I'm going to order some more of the chews because the chews work good. I do one chew in the evening before I go to bed. And it doesn't make you don't get cramps, but it keeps you moving. Because I was having I was very constipated from the shots. Not having that problem now. So I pretty much do the chews or the pack. And I do one of these a day. And I'm good. I also have Citrasil. I haven't started it back up, but Citrasil is another one. He did mention to do the Citrasil. Try to do Citrasil and then these if necessary. I've been doing the little chews. And the chews, it tells you to do 2 chews. I just do 1 chew. And then I take it at night before I go to bed, and it works real well. And it's not where you had runs or nothing like that. It just keeps things flowing as they should. Okay. Yeah, Wendy, all I know is I went out there and I sat down and it's hot. Like I was supposed to be up early. I was going to do it last night, but when I got back here, because I had to do some running yesterday, and I went to Home Depot to pick up the plants. I have a place I go to called EG's. They do like a frozen blended fruit thing, and I got me an EG, and then I headed back over here to the grocery store. I had a craving for pork chops, even though I haven't cooked them yet. And so I went to the grocery store, picked up a couple pork chops, and I'm having to think different on shopping. So I'm a person, when I shop I'm a sales shopper. Right now, all my freezers are full. Every freezer in my house is full. Every last one of them. So I really don't need any meat, but I didn't want to dig through there try to figure out. And I don't think I have pork chops because I don't buy pork as much as I did beef and chicken. I know I have steak. I have like a couple prime ribs in my freezer, probably 2.5 prime ribs in my deep freeze. That I haven't pulled out. Now I probably got to get in there and probably defrost the deep freeze because I haven't been in there in months. But I can't eat like I did before. Like it's weird. And I realized because I have people I know who had the gastric sleeve bypass, all of that. I'm eating like them. So it was explained to me at one gastro place, and I'll tell you that story later, that what it does, if you eat, it makes you feel full longer. And so whatever the connection of the stomach with the brain, and then if I eat too much, it's like I'm in pain. And it's like my stomach can only handle so much. I also still have the hernias. So I'm not sure. I was concerned about possibly colon cancer or something like that because I was having stomach issues before Ozempic. And I was having it in the lower part of my stomach where I would be just in pain. And I would have to come in and literally just lay down almost in sometimes on my back or in the fetal mode because I was in such pain. I had been referred to the gastro doctor through the medical group that my major doctor's office is under. I'd gone to them prior COVID and met the actual gastro doctor in person who was supposed to do a colonoscopy on me before I had this hernia. Then COVID happened and they called and they're like, hey, we got to put everything on hold. So I was like, okay, no problem. I wasn't really having any stomach issues, so I really didn't care. But then after COVID happened, and I developed these 2 hernias, I started having some stomach issues. I wasn't sure if it's tied to the hernias, what it was tied to. We can fix the hernias because of my size. So I have to be half of the body size, so half of that 443, before they can do a repair for my hernias, okay? So because I was having stomach issues starting, I told my doctor because he said, hey, you're due for a colonoscopy. Actually, you're past date. I said, well, yeah, COVID happened, never went back, but we do need to make this happen because I'm having stomach issues. I want to make sure we don't have any colon issues, right? So I go to meet these people. Let me tell y'all this story. Y'all will enjoy this crazy story. I go, and they're located in the Scottsdale, one of the major cities. I just say it like that. And there's a persuasion there that ain't me. Okay, I lived in Scottsdale at one point, and there's a lot of arrogance in Scottsdale. Let's put it like that. So I go there, and when I go into the office, now I got to meet the PA. So it was it was just a doctor. Wasn't a lot of folks in there. They have expanded from when I went prior COVID. And now they've got a PA. So I had to go meet the PA, which I just didn't get a good vibe with the PA dude. He was professional. I just need a good vibe. That's all I'm going to tell you. So I go on, talk to him. He's like, okay, tell him what's going on. I show him the hernias. Well, the one you can see, the other one you can't. So I have two. I have one above the belly button and one below. So the one above the belly button is huge. And it's huge. So I then talked to the scheduler. Yeah, I didn't say Snottsdale. It's actually called Scottsdale. They snotty. It's called Scottsdale with a bunch of snotty folk. A lot of money, a lot of arrogant money, I'm just going to say. So when I go there, I go to talk to the schedule, this lady named Kelly. This is where everything goes into question. I meet her, and I'm a little hesitant, but she begins talking about herself. Okay. She tells me that she had started, I think she was doing Monjero. She had lost like just under 100 pounds. And when you looked at her, you really couldn't tell because she looked really good. I was like, oh my God, you look, this is just me being sincere. I don't care if you don't like me because of my persuasion or complexion. Oh, well. But I'm like, oh my God, you look really good. Now, she kept talking about herself. And then listen to the questions I asked. And y'all tell me, I ain't going to tell you what I think later because some things have transpired since then. And that's right, God's in the detail. He always takes care of me. So she turns around and she's supposed to schedule me. She tells me I'm going to be the one to schedule everything. And we talk about medical stuff. We talk about who she needs to contact because I'm on a blood thinner to do the release. I'm going through the same group, the same medical group. I have a Coumadin clinic that monitors my blood thinner. And I'm going through the same group, right? So all of this is all under the same medical group, right? So you can see my doctor that I have, their office can see my stuff. You can see my stuff. The Coumadin clinic can see. You're all part of the same medical group, right? Y'all, we got a portal. You can all see all the information. So I'm not understanding some stuff that I'm about to tell you about. So I asked her face to face in the meeting. I said, look, I'm in a new position. The role I'm in, getting time off is really hard. If possible, I would like to schedule, if we do this colonoscopy on a Monday, because I have Saturday, Sunday off, so you can drink all that stuff and be in the bathroom and do all your stuff you got to do. I said, so I'd like to do this on a Monday. Is it possible on Monday? Oh, yeah, he's got schedules on Monday. Okay, perfect. She said, so I just got to get the releases and then we'll talk about scheduling you. No problem. So I'm going to say what happened next. So when I came in the office, I came into the medical office for this gastro doctor through the front door. So she says, hey, where'd you park? And I told her, I said, well, I parked over near XYZ. Oh, okay, I'm going to take you out this way. Now, I'm going to be honest. My flags went up, okay? I thought this was strange because I didn't go back out the front door. You took me out some side or back door. Now, when I walked out, I was closer to the elevator, so it might have been a courtesy, but it was weird. Okay, it was just weird to me. Follow my bouncing. Right, Wendy. Right. That's not typical. It was very weird. Normally the same way you enter a doctor's office, unless they have an enter-exit, the same way you enter is the same way you exit. I've never had a doctor's office take me out the side door or the back door, which one it was. It was weird. So I end up coming home, and she contacts me a few days later and said, oh, the Coumadin clinic told me I have to get the release from your doctor. And I have to reach out. And she gives me a doctor's name that I don't know who this name is. It was some weird name. So when I looked, I was, because in the recording it sounded like Dr. Vodka, but it wasn't vodka. It was a different name. It was Botka. And so I'm like, this is a weird name. So I done forgot about this man. Remember, y'all was having the heart issues, right? Well, this guy was the cardiologist I saw like a year, 2 years ago. She's using his name, and I'm going, wait, why are you going to Dr. Vodka for release? He's not my main doctor, because my referral to you came from my main doctor's office. Things weren't making sense. Weird. Follow my bouncing ball. I have a feeling on what it is, but we going to follow my bouncing ball. So I replied back in the portal. Well, I called and I said, I don't know who Dr. Vodka is. And then I also replied in the portal because it was so weird. And then my messages in the portal go to the PA, not to her. She's a scheduler. But they could be working in conjunction. I'm just going to say that. I'll leave that there. She responds, oh, I realize that I've gotten a hold of your medical, I'm going to get a hold of your medical office. That's the cardiologist, right? I said, yeah, he don't have anything to do with anything. Okay. Then the next thing happens. I then reach, she finally gets the approval. She calls me. You call my phone. We've talked to each other from my phone, my cell phone, multiple times. Okay. I came back here in 2019. This is the phone number I have. This phone number is the phone number I've had for quite some time. Okay. They've had it at my office, my medical office. The portal is set for any text, alerts, anything to come to this phone number right here, this one. My doctor's office calls, they leave a voice message on this phone right here. Same number, hasn't changed. So she calls, we talk on the phone. And she says, oh, I got the approval, yada, yada, yada. And we talk about the schedule. I said, okay. I said, what do you have on Mondays? Oh, he doesn't do colonoscopies on Monday. What did I ask her face to face? Does he do appointments on Mondays for colonoscopy? She said yes. And this phone call after the fact, after she gets released, oh, he doesn't have appointments on Monday. I said, well, I asked you that in the office, and you said he did. No, he only does them and she put something towards the end of the week. And I said, I was looking for Monday because it's hard to get time off for me to get consecutive days in what I'm doing. So that means I would have had to take 2 sick days right now. And I really didn't want to burn the specialty time I had because I don't want to throw it into any kind of attendance issues. And they give us specialty time, but I also wanted to stretch that. And she says, well, I may have another doctor who can do it on Monday. I'll follow up with you closer to the time frames you're looking at and let you know. Never heard nothing further from this woman. Okay. She said, okay, I hadn't heard anything from this lady. So I'm starting to have the stomach issues again. Well, I hadn't paid anything, so I haven't paid any money. I haven't paid any money. We're getting there, Wendy, because you and I might be on the same page on part of your response. So I don't hear anything from her, and I reach out because I'm having stomach issues. The same stomach issues I told them about that I wanted to see somebody are starting to creep back up. And it's not COVID. They're not tied, in my opinion, to Ozempic. It's the problems I was having prior to the Ozempic. So at this point, I reached back out. I said, hey, I haven't heard from you. And you know what? If we have to go ahead and schedule this, let's stick with the same guy. Tell me what the dates are that you say he has availability and let me know. I leave a message. I leave message 1, message 2, message 3, never hear back from this lady. So I go through the portal and I send a message which goes to the PA, not to her. She then responds back, oh, I've left you multiple messages. On what phone? I'm then wondering, because I don't get a lot of voice messages. I'm wondering, okay, I wonder if my voicemail's messed up. So my niece Vicky just happened to call me and leave a voicemail. So my voicemail's working just fine. So I realized this chick ain't called me. Number one, even if you called and it didn't go to voicemail, I would have just a record of the fact I got a call from your number. I got no call. She then says, oh, well, if we've got us getting ready to schedule, we've got to call and get a doctor release because it's almost been XYZ number of months. Hold on, Wendy. Oh, you talking about work time? No, I get paid for time off work. I have time. I have sick time. That's not a problem. I get paid for the time off. It's just inconvenient. So At this point, this woman, she tell me she calling me. I ain't got no call. So when I send it through the PA, I think he sends it to her. Okay. And like I said, they could be coordinated on what I think is going on. Because me and you, Wendy, on the first part of your statement, I do think that might be a factor. So lo and behold, I'm sitting up here. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. So I text her back and I said, or text through the portal. I sent a message through the portal. I said, well, I've got no messages from you. Zero. And the next thing I know, I call and still this woman ain't left voicemail the first. No messages, no nothing. And she comes back with, oh, I got to get approval from your doctor again because the prior approval has expired. And whose name does she mention again? Dr. Botka. Botka, why are we going back to this guy? Botka don't even work for the company anymore. I got a letter over 6 months to a year ago that he no longer is with this medical group. He not even a part of the medical group anymore. Why are you keep getting this man's we'll get to it in a minute. We're gonna talk about it. Some of y'all who are my persuasion, y'all know, y'all may get where I'm going with this story. Lo and behold, she keeps doing this where I'm not hearing from her, or all of a sudden if I do through the portal. So one morning I woke up, stomach's bothering me. I said, enough. Something's not right. Something's not right with this woman. This is almost purposeful. Why are you going right? You're in the group. You're in the medical group. So you should see who my main doctor is. The main doctor provider that I go to is the one who referred me to you. What she's doing is purposeful. I could be wrong, but this is my gut. And I'm going to tell you, let's back up. And I'm going to tell you what I ended up doing, which was a blessing. So she was being racist. She did me a favor. I'm just going to say that. Okay. God works in mysterious ways. There is a way that people can treat you to where they just want you to go away because they don't want to deal with you. We make it hard for you, kind of like my financial aid situation. We do all these things to either make you go away, or we're trying to get your money. We're trying to make you come out of pocket and maybe have that money go to somebody who don't look like you. Okay. I don't know. I'm telling you, things are weird. Same thing can happen in business. I don't know. I'm just telling you, it's something we're being this. It's something I've experienced in my life. Okay. Where you'll get a treatment where the goal is we're doing the bare legal minimum and we really just want you to go away. So we're going to make it look as if we are helping you. We're going to make it look as if, okay? We're making it look as if. God, you don't need to be angry. God took care of it. I'm explaining. Well, sometimes, yes, flatbed, but sometimes there's a blessing in people being buttholes. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I personally think it was to make me go away. It could be a multiple reasons. Could be not only because of my ethnicity, could be because of my weight. Maybe you didn't want to deal with Mongol fat black woman. And let's get her to go out the side door. Okay. I don't know that I think a fat white person would have went through that, but I thought that was odd. I did think it was odd. Like you doing me a favor, and they'll treat it like, oh, we're doing a favor, and really like let's get the nigga out the back door. Okay. We really don't even want them to be associated with our business. I'm just telling you, and it's sick, it's sad, but that kind of behavior, we're seeing a lot of it now. It's always been there. It's just bubbling to the surface, and people are more emboldened with what we got going on top right now, right? Like I said, everything happened for a reason. I believe he's there. I believe God put him there because America needed to see itself. And right now, you got a lot of stuff that's been hidden. I mean, hidden. And now it's so blatant in the front that you see, and you now know who your people are. You know who your friends are, who your neighbors are, or people you thought were your friends. You finding the truth about what people think of you. My Latino friend Joe, we have been hanging out. He got his quote unquote best friend. The best friend's wife says she's MAGA Trump, them kind of folks. Well, I work for my money, and I don't believe I should have to help anybody else, and I don't want to pay taxes for other people. So, oh well, let me explain something to you. And I'm going to go biblical real quick. Bible tells us about you will always have people who are going to be less in a and not in a better, and you might be in a better position than somebody else. You're always going to have the poor among you. But there were situations in the Old Testament where there was always a way made for people who were poor, and people who were blessed to be better than. Basically, since you're blessed, be a blessing. And a lot of times, if we look at it from the way they did it, you ever read the story of Boaz? I think it's Boaz and Ruth. If you read that story, Ruth and her mother-in-law were very poor. And in order to have food, because they were both widows, they had to do what's called gleaning from the field. That means they went out in the field after the owner of the farm got their produce harvest and whatever they were needing, and they left enough that those people who were poor could go out there and pick what they need so that they could survive. That's called gleaning from the field. If you're better than somebody else, then make a situation where people can glean from you and you'll be blessed. Facts, you shouldn't. But you understand what I'm trying to say. It's a religious principle. It's a Christian-based principle, and I'm sure there's other religions that may have the same thing. And it's a standard principle that you should pay it forward. But we have a bunch of people, especially those who are really wealthy, who I don't want to have to give you nothing. I made it on my own. You should make it on my own. And the reality is, how did you have a leg up that other folks didn't have? Were doors open to you that might not have been open for other people? What obstacles, and greed is huge, what obstacles did you have to cross, or did you have really any? People see through the glasses, and greed is huge. Greed blocks a lot of folks being able to see the way they should see. Anyway, back to the story with this lady at this thing. Call, messages, and then these buttholes, and I haven't had a chance to respond because I'm going to send a letter to the group, the medical group. But I did talk to my main provider, and I told him, he's a Latino guy, and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you what I'm sensing. Now, when me and him talked, he said to me, normally when you're sensing something like this, and based on what you just described to me, medical care should never be that hard for you to obtain. And I'm sorry. And he says, but don't think that what you're feeling might be, because you always kind of like, well, you don't have proof. So I could be wrong. And he's like, normally when you have these vibes, they're usually on the money. This is what he said. Now, I told him, I said, I don't know if you can do anything because he works for him. So he might not, because this could get into legal issues. I'm not in a position to sue anybody. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good. It's not good at all. So because I was sensing this, I've had a colonoscopy before. And I had a doctor from India. His background is Indian. He was my colonoscopy doctor I was recommended to. He's out in Chandler, Arizona. I live in Phoenix, so it's at least a 30 to 45-minute drive for me to get to his offices. I was staying within my medical group because that's a lot closer. Oh, I'm going to be writing. I'm not done yet. We far from done. I got the letter in the room that they sent me. Because they're going to be like, oh, we've been trying to get in touch with you. Have you now? Have you called this number? No, you have not. It's the same number I got. So I'm going to be writing to their medical group. I'm not going to write them. They're out the wall. And I'm going to tell them I finally had, because it's been about a month now. Because I went and saw a whole nother doctor. And let me explain what happened. But God is good. Let me tell you what happened. I contacted my old colonoscopy doctor. And when I contacted them, I had asked, I said, look, here's the situation. I didn't realize at the time they set me for an appointment with another doctor in the office. When I was going to this old colonoscopy doctor, he was the only one there. So he started his little gastro doctor group. So I received the alert. I tell my guy, I said, I'm going to another one. I'm going to the one I remember. I, never had any problems with this gentleman. He did my colonoscopies for me in the past. I'm going to go back to him. Y'all, let me tell you how good God is. So when I go, and this doctor I had, he was really good, very thorough. And I said, when I go back to him. So when I went, and he's older, and I didn't think about it because I went to him in my 30s. So you have to understand, if I'm 30 and this guy's treating me, he's probably 40, 50-ish, because, he's been to medical school and all that. And he's a specialist, so that's even more time. And he was good. He's from India. And so, and I love me a foreign doctor. I ain't gonna lie. When they come over here, give me somebody from India, give me somebody from the Middle East, give me somebody Asian. And I hate to say it, I think because they're from a different culture, it's not about a privilege. They really work hard to do what they do and learn their field. And very thorough, very thorough. And this was around the time I was coming out of being sick, too. You have to understand, this was out the time when I had all the blood clots, the tumors, all that stuff going on. And now, I had colon issues coming up. And it wasn't really anything colon-wise. It was really fiber in my diet that I needed to increase, but I had some issues going on. And he could even tell that I had cheese, based on what he did. That was very good. Anywho, turn around, and I went to this doctor. Was one of the guys in the office. It wasn't him. And the last name and first name, I'm like, this dude sounds like he Middle Eastern. So either Jewish or Muslim, one of the two. And I said, you know what? When I get in there, I'm going to tell him I want the guy I saw. I'll go ahead and talk with him. But I want the guy I saw initially. And I hadn't really thought about it, that the guy I saw initially was way older now. So this guy, when I walked in there, you could tell he's probably the age of the doctor I'd originally seen. And when I walked in the office, you know how they take you back into the room? That's the room where he sees his patients in the office. On the wall, his medical degree is from University of something in California. But baby, he got a certificate from Mayo Clinic. I'm going to keep my doggone mouth shut. I ain't got nothing further to say. Me and this dude can do business. Abso-flippin'-lutely. I've had a Mayo Clinic doctor in the past. When I had the first blood clot or the second blood clot in the lung, they called in a guy who's Mayo Clinic trained. Absolutely, I'm keeping my mouth shut. Mayo Clinic doctors, oh, you know your stuff. And y'all expensive if you go to the Mayo Clinic, try to get child by. Let me keep my... What do you have to tell me to do, doctor? Everything. He was so good. I explained, and I just said, and I didn't want to get into, because I didn't want him to get questioned, like, why the other company. I was having problems getting scheduled for colonoscopy through my medical group. So I remember, the doctor I went to, I called, and I didn't know they scheduled me with you, but that's fine. And I explained what I was going through. So, and then he started talking to me. He's like, okay. And he says, ask me what the issues were, tell him what they were. He says, okay. And then I said, well, it could be the hernia. He said, the hernia. And I stood up and raised up the shirt. He said, He says, and the other medical group was going to try to do a colonoscopy? I said, yeah. He said, absolutely not. Red flag. What do you mean, absolutely not? He said, absolutely not. He says, when you have a hernia, he says, and yours is large. And he says, and you said you have two. I said, I have one below the belly button I can't see, but the one on top you can see. He said, the one on top is huge. He says, your small intestines are tied up into that hernia. He says, we're going in there with a camera. We're going in there with a device to look around your colon. He says, and how the intestines are tangled up in that hernia. He says, we got to try to navigate that without puncturing anything. He said, that's high risk for that size of a hernia. Any hernia, for the matter of fact. But for that one, absolutely not. He says, have you thought about Cologuard? And I'm like, well, the original doctor I had said she thought that this would be, but we didn't have this hernia issue going on. He said, Cologuard is really reliable. He says, FDA, da-da-da-da. He starts telling me all this stuff, how long it's been around, yada. And I know it's been around a minute. He says, I'm going to recommend we start with Cologuard. If Cologuard comes back with anything weird, then we're going to have to look at doing a colonoscopy. He says, but if it doesn't, you're good for 3 years. Okay. He said, the other thing we're going to check for is something called H. pylori, which is some kind of bacterial infection in the stomach. I did both. Both came back negative. So at this point, the thought process is, that this is likely my it's likely probably the hernia is what I'm thinking. Because we don't have anything with colonoscopy. It came back negative on Cologuard. The H. pylori came back negative. So it's probably the hernias. And right now with the weight costs coming off, once we can be half this body weight, we'll be talking to a general surgeon about getting this fixed. I also want to probably have to look at skin removal. So we got a lot coming up. And that's why right now I'm like, I got medical stuff I got to take care of. I got to finish paying off some dental stuff. And I need to go for another cleaning, but I'm not doing anything with my teeth until I get this guy paid off. So yeah, right now I'm absolutely not. Yep. So that's my story. But like I said, God works it out for me, because I would have never thought I'd be talking to a Mayo Clinic guy. I'm like, oh, absolutely. I'm gonna deal with Mr. Mayo Clinic person. That's what we're gonna deal. We're gonna deal with Mr. Mayo Clinic person. We're not gonna deal with the crap. We're gonna deal with Mr. Mayo Clinic person. That's what we're dealing with now. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's what's going on. But yeah, weight loss is going good. All that's going good. How are y'all dealing in the climate of what's going on right now? How y'all doing? Because it's like funny. I was talking to somebody from my job, and they were like, sometimes I cry, and they not black. They Anglo. And I was like, honey, sometimes I just want to go in my room and want to put the covers on my head and go in a fetal position, because this is some craziness. And it's not that I don't expect it. I expected it to be extra crazy this go around. I expected it to be extra crazy this go around. And it is. And it absolutely is. And what's killing me right now is that people are looking at this, the old dude who got, I don't want to mention no names, got killed, the Mr. E who got killed in prison. They looking at that and they're like, oh, we want you to release this, that, and the other thing. And we, and I'm like, wait. Wendy said, I'm over it. Because, well, the people are crazy. That's what's weird to me. It's like, and y'all, I just want y'all to help me out. Okay. Follow my bouncing ball. And I'm an abuse victim. I'm a incest molest victim, right? And so I can read certain things real well. If a stripper porn star tells me that you told her she looked like your daughter and you want to have sex with her, do I need to see anybody else's files to know what you are? I don't need to see anybody else's files. I already know what you are. Anybody who would talk, exactly, Wendy. I don't need to see anybody else's files. And what kills me is I'm like, do people not pay attention? Because as soon as she said it, I'm like, oh, he like kids. And probably want to, if didn't, screw his own child. That already tell you everything you need to know. I don't need to see no files from anybody else. Point blank, period. The sad part is there are people who are just like in families. Because it was funny, my sister sent me something where she said this white pastor said, oh, well, if, they found out that he had, if he would, it was like a scenario put to him where the pastor was asked if old boy would rape his daughter, would he still have supported him? And he says, yes, I'd forgive him and that'd be hard, but yes, I would still. And then they go do these half-butt quotes of the Bible without really knowing the full Bible. And they like, well, the Lord says forgive. Yeah, the Lord does tell you that. And there's other scriptures in the Proverbs that talk about how you deal with wicked people. It tells you not to have anything to do with them. It talks about cutting them off. You can forgive. I forgive the wickedness and the wicked people. But that don't mean you're coming to my house and sitting down and having a meal, or I'm going to hang out with you. Absolutely not. It also tells you that it would be better if somebody harms a child, that there would be a millstone placed around their neck. If you don't understand that, you can go research what that is. That's death on another level. So, yeah, none of what you just said makes sense. But it makes sense if you're crazy and want to see things through the glasses. But it also tells me if you support that, you're probably like that, or you have somebody in your family like that, and you've okayed it. Facts. And you're one of the ones that will sit at the table with the Chester molester and expect the victim to sit there and not say anything in your family who the Chester molester has raped, molested, and you think that's okay. And there's plenty of people probably in that camp who that's normal for them. And that's also some of the control that I think is with other people in our political parties right now, is that there is so much dirt involved in all of this. They've got so much, this individual probably has a lot of dirt, so these people are stepping to my loo because they don't want their stuff to be released. And then my other question is his buddy, the dude who left, who beat all of that, him, who wants to start the third party. Some of them, I ain't gonna say all of them. There's some that probably might be decent, but there's a bunch who are very twisted and may not be Christian at all. They may just be legalist and have roles. Trust me, I understand that. There are some, I believe, that are sincere people who are just trying to get to know God. And there's others, they use it for financial gain and they're just wicked. And that's the thing, you've got really have to have the discernment. And it's been such a turnoff because you've got people who are claiming Christianity that are nowhere near it. But old boy who's talking about creating a new party, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Because if you went to school, hell, if you've registered to vote, and you going to tell me you creating a third party, do y'all already realize we have 3 parties in the United States? I was like, what is this ninja talking about? We already got 3 parties. Republicans, Democrats, and independents. Now, we know that independence is a wimpy party. You have an independent every blue moon. They don't really do nothing. We already have 3 parties in the U.S., homie. The hell are you talking? Whoo! Absolutely not. I just said, I sit back and I'm going, but because people are so uneducated, especially this new group of humans, they are uneducated and just ratchet. You know, they're horrible. Absolutely the worst. Absolutely the worst. Oh, your electric car boy who was up there, his buddy. You see, you ain't watching them. You ain't watching the news. He wants to create a third party, get rid of his favorite, because him and his favorite are at each other's throat. Facts. Ding, 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 Wendy for the win. Y'all go back and research it. He wants to create a new party. And there's going to be dumb folks that are going to get behind him, even though he did all the madness. The sad part is people really, and this is where people lose intelligence to me. So he had access to all the data. He left his folks in the positions. If I'm the one who recommended you and put you in those positions, who are you really loyal to? It's absolutely amazing to me how dumb people are. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's too much money on the line. That man has a plan. Absolutely not. There's a strategy to all of this. I'm going to tell you that right now. He ain't going nowhere. There's a strategy. He placed himself right in the right group. He knew exactly what he was doing. That baby is genius on another level. And the one that's up there right now is not an intelligent dude. He ain't got a clue. And it's probably incorporated with a whole bunch of stuff. This is going to get really twisty. It's going to get really twisty. And like I said, we're going to find old boy back sitting up in there, and it ain't going to be in the way y'all think. This is twisted. And they gonna get Cankle Man out. And Little Weirdo is going to be probably in conjunction with money. Because Little Weirdo's already working for certain money. Yep. So this is all money based. It's all money based. And old boy who's up there right now, who's don't know right from left, Mr. Narcissist, he's gonna be gone. If they don't get him out legally, I don't want to know what other way they'll get him out. Leaving Little Weirdo in charge. And Little Weirdo will be just he's just a puppet. There's other power behind Little Weirdo. Yep. Things gonna get real special. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But if you look like my daughter, don't leave, probably voluntarily. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Chicago BBW, what's up, homie? How you doing? I could be wrong. But I think they're going to exit him one of two ways. He might want to take option 1, because option 2 is not going to be good. And I think the goal is for Little Weirdo to be up there for the money. And Little Weirdo's more controllable by the individual who wants to control him. And the one who wants to control him is highly racist. There will be no blacks, no Latinos. It'll be just pink people all in the U.S. It's going to be bad. I ain't going to be on here much longer, girl. We already at an hour, so I'm getting ready to get my little black butt off of here. But I'll try to be on. I haven't been on. I might do every 2 weeks. I haven't really decided. I need to get a schedule where I'm in here. But we'll be talking. I'm trying to get everything set up in the kitchen, the desk set up, and the barbecue sauce will be coming. Physically, I wasn't there, but now I'm feeling a lot better. Like I said, I've been outside. I'm gonna go out there after this little video and go replant my plants before I go to bed tonight, and get my bag set up for work tomorrow, and maybe get lunch ready for tomorrow. My play niece called me. He's like, "You want to go to Red Lobster?" I'm like, "I ain't got no Red Lobster money." I guess, y'all, Red Lobster has now got boiling bags, and the new head of Red Lobster is a brother, and I guess she watched a TikTok. I'm not into TikTok. It's mindless to me. And she sent me something, and I'm like, I will not download TikTok. I absolutely can't. It's just ratchet to me. Bunch of ratchetness. And really, for people with very short attention spans, I just don't have the energy. I'm like, I do not have the energy for TikTok. And what she sent me, oh, this person no, it was some ratchetness. And I was like, I don't even know how that can remind you of me. And what it is, she thought it was funny, and she get she's what, late 30s, getting ready to be 40, and that's not ratchet, her generation, that ratchet crap, I can't. Yeah, actually, we were just talking about that earlier. Catch some of the repeat on it, but I know within like a few months, I went from 443 to 407. And I've lost a lot more. I don't know what the lot more is, but I can tell I've lost a lot more. A lot more. Even in my car seat, I had to adjust my steering wheel, all of that. So I have lost a lot more, for sure. Because when I was like, I literally had to pull over and park and adjust, and I had to sit there for a minute, and I'm like, oh my God, you've lost some weight. It is good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have the skin removal. I'm going to have skin loss. I'm going to have the skin, because I'll show y'all what I'm working with there so you can see that. So I'm going to have to, obviously do the skin removal, but I'm getting ready. Probably not this pay period, probably next pay period. I'll have to budget in, but I'm going to do a gym membership, and I'm going to Planet Fitness. We have EOS, which is new, and they have a pool. But my niece says it's always packed. I don't know if they're 24/7 or not. I like the fact this is 24/7. I'm a night person, and I want to go in there when ain't nobody, too many people in there. And there's one not that far from my house. I go up there, do what I got to do. Right now, I'm probably going to be doing the bike. Walking is not going to be the best. I'm going to have to start doing some lifting. I got to order it's called a hernia belt because of the hernia. I need to order a hernia belt. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I can start doing some lifting and things like that. But right now, so doing all that. What's the power? I don't know what the power is. The rower. Okay, we'll probably have to do that once we have the hernia belt. But the first thing is I got to start building some muscles in my legs. I did weight training in high school. So my last year of high school, I could have graduated early, but because I was in this program, I couldn't. I was in the business program, and they got me the job at the city of Tempe. I couldn't graduate early. It was part of my agreement was that I would go ahead and have my last senior year, I would be enrolled. So I took a bunch of bullcrap courses. I took home ec. I think I took a photography class. I didn't take too many classes. I had like 3 classes. I just took enough to be enrolled. And then the class for the what they call COE. And then I went to my job after work. So I took one of my classes was weight training, and weight training was lifting weights. It was what the guys, it was only me and another girl in there. And I did weight training. So I remember the machine you do where you push to get the legs. I need to do that, a lot of that. But because you are going to use your core, your stomach muscles, that would mess with my hernia. So I need to order what's called a hernia belt, and I'm probably going to have to do one of the weight training belts to keep the hernia in. We don't want to push it out any further because my hernia is huge. When I say huge, it's very obvious, and as the weight's coming off, it's even more obvious that I have this big tube hanging in the top of my stomach. So, yeah. So once we get down to half of the 443, we'll be going and reaching out to the general surgeon again. And I don't know, I may talk to the gastro doctor that I'm using now and get a recommendation because the hernia, the surgical doctor, he was part of the same medical group. And right now, me and that medical group, only thing I'm going to really deal with now there is my prime that I'm using right now. And actually, he's not a doctor, he's a PA because my doctor retired. So I'm using him because he works with me very well. I think he's pretty thorough. He's the one that made the suggestions for the Ozempic. And so I'll probably work with him, but I'm probably going to reach back out to the gastro doctor and say, who would you recommend as anytime I got somebody with a Mayo Clinic background, let me talk to you, homie. I want to talk to you. And since they're in Chandler, I would prefer, because I've been at Chandler Regional, it's a very good hospital. If I have to do anything surgical, I'd probably do out there. Chandler's kind of on the level of a second Scottsdale. I used to live in Chandler. And Chandler does have some beautiful areas. Matter of fact, I went to go get my mint plant from this lady out there. Woo! Her house was gorgeous. I was in love. It was right off a mountain, but she had this entryway before you got to her door that was absolutely fabulous. And she had all her plants there, and she left my little plant there and just said, put the $5 in the bench. And I put $5 in the bench and took my little mint plant. And she gave me chocolate mint plant, which I got to replant because he's surviving too, because he should have been planted a long time ago. But anyway, y'all, we are at 8331. I will post again like I did. Hopefully I'll start doing it a day or so in advance, or maybe if I'm gonna do a week in advance to let y'all know. 2 and 2 be blessed. Peace.